1. When preparing a surface for exterior painting, which of the following steps ensures maximum adhesion and regulatory compliance? A. Applying primer directly on old paint without surface preparation. E. Power washing, scraping loose paint, sanding, and applying primer. C. Applying 2 coats of paint without primer. D. Sealing the surface with varnish before priming. 2. Which of the following best describes the purpose of using a moisture meter before painting wood surfaces? A. To determine the density of the wood. B. To ensure compliance with manufacturer's specifications for maximum moisture content. C. To calculate primer drying times. D. To test for lead paint presence. 3. Under California regulations, contractors working on pre-1978 homes must follow which specific rule regarding paint removal? A. Use of solvent-based chemical strippers. B. Dry sanding and scraping. C. Lead-safe renovation, repair, and painting rule, RRP practices. D. Mandatory power washing. 4. When evaluating a student apprentice's understanding of paint mixing ratios, which adult learning method ensures skill mastery? A. Passive lecture demonstration. B. Peer-to-peer role play without materials. C. Hands-on practice with instructor feedback. E. Written examination only. 5. Which type of brush is most appropriate for applying oil-based paints on wood trim for a smooth finish? A. Nylon brush. B. Polyester brush. C. Natural bristle brush. D. Foam brush. 6. OSHA requires that workers on scaffolds above 10 feet must: A. Wear protective eyewear only. B. Be tied off with a fall arrest system or have guardrails. C. Work without restrictions if experienced. D. Use only ladders instead of scaffolds. 7. When creating a curriculum for journeyman painters, which principle of adult learning should be prioritized? A. Use of repetitive memorization drills. E. Inclusion of real-world case studies and problem solving. C. Elimination of peer collaboration. D. Avoidance of evaluation methods. 8. A high-quality primer's main purpose before applying top-coat paint is to: A. Add final gloss finish. B. Improve adhesion and provide uniform surface. C. Act as a substitute for surface cleaning. D. Prevent fumes from evaporating. 9. When supervising apprentices, what is the best mentoring technique to enhance confidence and skills? A. Criticize publicly for mistakes. B. Provide constructive feedback privately and set achievable goals. C. Allow apprentices to work independently without oversight. D. Restrict apprentices from asking questions. 10. A client requests a low VOC paint for interior walls. The main benefit of low VOC paints is: A. Increased gloss. B. Reduced harmful emissions for health and safety compliance. C. Faster drying time only. D. Lower material cost. 11. Which spray technique minimizes overspray and ensures even coating? A. Holding the sprayer at varying angles. B. Maintaining consistent distance and overlapping passes by 50%. C. Standing close to the surface and moving quickly. D. Spraying one heavy coat. 12. Which type of contract clause protects both the painting contractor and the client in case of delays due to weather? A. Force majeure clause. B. Arbitration clause. C. Confidentiality clause. D. Indemnity clause. 13. During curriculum development for training on hazardous material handling, which regulatory guideline must be emphasized? A. ASTM standards only. B. OSHA Hazard Communication Standard, HAZCOM. C. ANSI labeling. D. Local paint retailer guidelines. 14. Which of the following is the correct sequence for applying a 3-coat system on interior drywall? A. Primer, base coat, top coat. B. Base coat, primer, top coat. C. Top coat, primer, base coat. D. Base coat, top coat, varnish. 15. What is the primary function of back rolling after spraying paint on textured surfaces? A. To add gloss. B. To smooth the paint on flat surfaces. C. To push paint into crevices and improve adhesion. D. To reduce drying time. 16. When conducting evaluations of apprentices, the most effective method for competency-based learning is A. Written multiple-choice testing only. B. Observation of hands-on performance using a checklist. C. Oral recitation of painting standards. D. Peer ranking without instructor input. 17. What type of paint is best suited for high-moisture areas, such as bathrooms? A. Flat latex paint. B. Eggshell finish paint. C. Semi-gloss or satin enamel paint. D. Chalk-based decorative paint. 18. Which California regulation requires contractors to provide a written contract for jobs over $500? A. Business and Professions Code, Section 7159. E. California Labor Code, Section 3700. C. OSHA, Title 8 Code. D. EPA RRP Rule. 19. What is the safest practice when working with flammable oil-based paints? Store paint near heat sources for faster access. B. Keep containers open during application. C. Store in approved flammable storage cabinets away from ignition sources. D. Dilute with water for fire safety. 20. When training painters in color matching, which adult learning principle is best applied? A. Encourage passive note-taking only. B. Provide real paint swatches for practice and problem solving. C. Focus solely on digital slides without samples. D. Assign reading without discussion. 21. What is the recommended method for disposing of leftover latex paint under California environmental regulations? Pour into drains with water. B. Dispose as household hazardous waste. C. Evaporate in open air. D. Mix into soil for decomposition. 22. What should be included in a job hazard analysis (JHA) for painting projects? A. Worker payroll and tax records. B. Steps of the job, potential hazards, and safety controls. C. Client's budget constraints. D. List of paint colors selected. 23. The proper mixing technique for multi-component epoxy coatings involves A. Stirring lightly for 5 seconds. B. Mixing parts in exact ratio, stirring thoroughly, and allowing induction time. C. Adding more solvent to increase pot life. D. Skipping induction for faster drying. 24. When communicating safety procedures to apprentices, the most effective adult learning technique is A. Repetition without practical demonstration. B. Combining verbal instruction with hands-on demonstration. C. Providing lengthy written manuals only. D. Allowing apprentices to figure it out on their own. 25. Which safety device must be provided when spraying coatings in a confined space? A. Regular dust mask. B. Supplied air respirator system. C. No respiratory protection if paint is water-based. D. Simple cloth covering. 26. Which of the following surface preparation steps is most critical before applying paint on galvanized metal? A. Applying latex paint directly. B. Cleaning, etching, and priming with bonding primer. C. Applying solvent-based varnish. D. Sanding with coarse grit only. 27. What is the function of a Material Safety Data Sheet, MSDS, in painting projects? A. Marketing information about the paint. B. Safety, handling, and hazard communication details. C. Warranty information for paint finish. D. Application tips for decorative finishes. 28. Which training evaluation method ensures continuous improvement of apprentices? A. End-of-course multiple-choice exams only. B. Ongoing formative assessments with feedback. C. Avoiding assessment to reduce stress. D. Peer voting without instructor evaluation. 29. Which factor determines the correct choice of roller nap length? A. Workers' painting speed. B. Surface texture being painted. C. Price of roller cover. D. Brand of paint used. 30. For exterior painting projects, what is the minimum surface temperature requirement to ensure proper curing? A. 32 Fahrenheit. B. 40 degrees Fahrenheit. C. 50 degrees Fahrenheit. D. 70 degrees Fahrenheit. 31. A client disputes the quality of completed paintwork. Which best practice for contractors protects against legal claims? A. Refusing to provide documentation. B. Maintaining detailed daily job logs and photographic records. C. Ignoring client complaints. D. Only relying on verbal agreements. 32. Which paint application technique best prevents lap marks? A. Painting in random strokes. B. Keeping a wet edge and working systematically. C. Allowing paint to dry between sections. D. Applying thin patches in layers. 33. Which principle of adult mentoring ensures long-term skill retention for apprentices? A. Instructor dominates all decision-making. B. Collaborative learning with guided reflection on mistakes. C. Apprentices memorize manuals without practice. E. Eliminating opportunities for apprentices to experiment.